Hello everyone, welcome to my Ghostbusters Remastered, professional difficulty, no upgrade walkthrough, and this is the Lost Island level, and this level is another one of my least favorite levels. It's another level that feels kind of rushed, like Return to Hotel Sedgwick, but it doesn't feel as rushed as Return to Hotel Sedgwick. I just find the encounters to not be that intriguing, and I don't find the enemy types to be that interesting, and the fact that you're not busting any ghosts is one of my main gripes with this level. And instead, all we're fighting is just a bunch of dispersible entities, like the gargoyles, the black slime crawlers, the black slime fiends, and then black slime monsters. Oh, by the way, watch this. Everybody knows what happens just then. That happens in pretty much so many games where your AI partners are useless. They just get in your way, and I nearly killed myself from a boson dart. Very frustrating. And also, after I've killed this gargoyle, I'm going to skip out on the whole Hedge Maze sequence, because that whole entire sequence you can just run past. It's probably the only encounter in the game where you can actually run past the enemies. And instead we're going to be fighting these black slime ghosts, which you can't actually capture even though they are ghosts. They're just dispersible entities, and that's it. Yet, in the multiplayer, the game actually classes these as ghost-type enemies that you have to actually capture. So I wonder why it's different between the two modes. So rather than use the slime borer against these enemies, I'm going to be using the Meson Collider. Because as I've already mentioned, the Meson Collider is your most powerful tool. It just absolutely demolishes enemies once you get it, regardless of whether you have upgrades or not. And it helps against these enemies, because these enemies love to teleport all over the place. And just be careful of the black slime ghosts. They do a lot of damage with their range attacks. They can literally drop you down to half health with one attack. And once you've eliminated a certain number of black slime ghosts, black slime fiends will spawn, and they'll spawn indefinitely unless you close the portals with the slime blower. So be very careful. And watch out for the black slime ghosts if they're attacking you aggressively. And okay, the black slime fiends haven't spawned yet. They're about... yeah, there's one right there, so they have spawned now. And thankfully the AI gets rid of one portal. And then the other portal is right over here, and then the other portal is at the opposite end of this room. And once again, the Meson Collider, best choice to use. They literally die after about 3 shots from the Meson Collider. I can't believe this weapon is so strong. You would think the boson dart would be stronger, considering it's more like a rocket launcher type weapon, but this weapon is apparently a lot stronger, which is crazy. And I find it kind of funny how the overload pulse is different between single player and multiplayer. On the single player it's more like a machine gun, but on the multiplayer it's more like a bazooka, equivalent to that of the boson dart. So I wonder why it's different there. There's a lot of things I don't really understand why they changed in the multiplayer mode. And the encounter's going well so far. This guy's rushing me. Yeah, he's dropped my life down quite a bit. And the encounter's about to end soon, once we get rid of this black slime ghost over here. I think the black slime ghosts are the key to this section. You've got to get rid of them, and then the encounter will actually end. I don't think you have to worry about the black slime fiends or the portals. But there you go, the encounter's over. And now we're by ourselves, since the other Ghostbusters have been captured. And I've just skipped directly to a sequence where there's a lot of black slime crawlers heading towards you. But the boson dart, once again, is so powerful against these enemies. And this is a really good time to use this trick of cooling down the boson dart. It's not very effective at close range, but at long range it's very effective using that trick. And this is where we're going to be encountering the black slime monsters once you've opened the floodgates. And don't worry too much about this enemy. It looks terrifying, but it's a pushover with the Meson Collider. And I'm trying to hit this guy with the slime borer right now, but it's not really working out since I'm not at the right distance, and I shouldn't even be using it anyway, because the slime borer is very underpowered without the upgrades. What I should be doing instead is closing these portals, because they will spawn an infinite number of black slime crawlers, and you have to finish off all the enemies to get out of here. And that move the black slime crawlers are doing right now is the suicide attack. It's very powerful. It drops you down to about half HP if it hits you. So you gotta bear that in mind when you're dealing with a full group of black slime crawlers. And then the black slime monster, He works exactly like your other golem type enemies. He's not so bad whatsoever. All you gotta do is just bait out his charge attack and then run towards him. He has no tracking on that charge attack, which is kind of him, but at the same time I wish he had more moves. There's his charge attack, which he does all the time when you're at a distance. There's a straggler. Now I'm just gonna finish off this guy. Oh, there's another straggler just then. But look at the damage, look at that, half life, as you can see on my health indicator on my proton pack. Look at that. Absolute pushover. I cannot believe that these golem type enemies got past development with how incredibly balanced they are. And I believe there's 2 of them in this room. Yeah, there's another one there. And I think at this point I might as well just speed up me just fighting the golem type enemies, because they aren't a problem whatsoever. Like, who is going to struggle against this enemy? I mean, the only big problem with this enemy is its range attack. When it fires a lot of black slime at you, its hitbox is absolutely horrendous. Oh, that right there was a nice little detail. If you run away from enemies, the rookie will sometimes scream as if he's panicking, which is really nice detail, because I mean, he's a rookie. It's his first time out on the job. But you'd think he'd be used to all this by now. In fact, in all honesty, this guy's dealing with more dangerous ghosts and enemies than the Ghostbusters did the first time they were fighting ghosts. Like, these enemies you would never see in the film franchise, because these guys are the epitome of danger when it comes to being a Ghostbuster. Unless you're talking Ghostbusters 2016 with the female cast, because there were some ghosts that actually murdered individuals. Which was something I was not expecting from that movie. A ghost actually killing someone. And they just laughed it off like it was nothing. Which was definitely insult to injury. Or insult to death, rather. Because the ghosts on the 2016 film were very dangerous, let me tell you. They definitely seemed dangerous, like they really wanted to kill the Ghostbusters. But I've skipped directly to the combat encounter that occurs right after you free Winston. And we just have to deal with a bunch of Black Slime Fiends and Black Slime Ghosts. And make sure you close those portals, because they will spawn Black Slime Fiends. And they're far more dangerous than these guys, unless you get caught out by these Black Slime Ghosts. Because as already mentioned, these Black Slime Ghosts do a lot of damage on their attacks. And you're gonna see me fighting the Overload Pulse, because there's a lot of geometry in the way, and it definitely screws with the Overload Pulse's ability to actually hit these guys. I think, for a better strategy, go downstairs, because there's a lot more space, there's not a lot of geometry in the way, and you can definitely isolate the ghosts easily, and make sure they're not clipping behind any kind of geometry. And I find it very funny that Winston makes a quote that makes it seem like these ghosts were originally supposed to be ghosts you could capture. Because he's like, let's see how you like living in a tiny little box, amigo. Which doesn't make any sense, because these are dispersible entities, not ghosts you can actually trap. And I'm trying to use the Shock Blast here, because I'm having a lot of difficulties using the Meson Collider, but I should have just kept committing to the Meson Collider, because the Shock Blast is not very reliable, and so is the Stasis Stream. The Stasis Stream is not very good against this enemy. And I'm just going to speed up the encounter here, because this takes forever. It's not that difficult once the Black Slime Fiends are out of the way. It's just these ghosts love to teleport all over the place, and sometimes we'll get stuck in the pipes like this if you get lucky. That happens a lot with the ghosts on this game. And I, unfortunately, get tagged right there. Didn't really do the best at dodging that. Now I'm just switching back to the Meson Collider, because the Shock Blast was definitely a big mistake, and I realize that right now. Look at this. Why do they have to spam teleport this much? Oh man, it just artificially drags out the encounter. Yeah, just take my advice. Just stick with the upgrades. You can definitely tell this game was just designed for the upgrades, because the game just flows a lot better with the upgrades. There you go. And now this encounter's begun. I tried to get rid of these black slime portals before the encounter. But it turns out the encounter will play regardless of whether you free Egon or not. Because Egon's right over here. And there's going to be Black Slime Fiends, Black Slime Ghosts, and Black Slime Monsters. And this is the final encounter with these enemies before we have to deal with the Giant Slore. And the Giant Slore is an absolute pushover with the Meson Collider. It might be kind of difficult the first time trying to lure the giant slower into attacking, because the hitbox on his bite move is massive, so timing your dodge at just the right moment can be very difficult. And then there's also the random factor with when he's actually going to do it. I mean, I have found a bit of consistency. He seems to do the bite attack after about 3 moves, and after like his big like splurge of black slime, he seems to do the move every single time. So that's the only form of consistency I've found with the giant slower. I'm just amazed he goes down as fast as he does. You'd think like a giant monster like the giant slower would take far more punishment than the Spider Witch Ghost, but apparently that's not how it works in the Ghostbusters logic. And my team is down. Just need to get rid of that black slime monster because he's putting pressure on me. Keep my distance and watch out for the black slime that's just on the ground, because it will damage you over time. It may not seem like a lot, but when you're near the danger state, you gotta worry about the black slime on the ground. And he is done. Simple. And then there's a bunch of these black slime ghosts left, and thankfully they don't teleport around as much like they do in the catwalk section. Just using the overload pulse, there we go. And I'm just gonna finish this guy off. There we go. And now we are on to the giant slower, which is so easy. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is expose his head, and you have to do that by shooting the eyeballs. And look how much damage the Meson Collider is doing. And I know the game says that the Slime Blower is the most powerful weapon to use against this boss, but the game's lying. The Meson Collider is significantly better than the Slime Blower. And once you destroy the eyeballs, he's going to break free from his head restraint and stand near the edge. He will most likely do his bite attack, which he's doing right now. So hit his head with the Meson Collider. And then after about 3 moves, he's going to most likely do the bite attack. Not this one, it's this one you need. And you gotta actively move away before he does his bite attack because its hitbox is massive. But look at the amount of damage we're doing with the Meson Collider. He's already at around half life. And this is all we're doing. Simple. I'm just gonna conclude the commentary here because, I mean, this boss is better than the Spider Witch Ghost for sure, but he just goes down so quickly. So stay tuned for the final level, which is the cemetery level. Thank you all for watching, and you take care now.